Megan here from Crystal Lake Public Library Adult Services. Today I'm going to show you how to make an Irish soda bread. I got the recipe from this book I own, the Bread Bible. We have copies available at the library. It's also available online, and I will include the recipe in this video. At the end it'll be an attached PDF. So to get things started, before you're ready to cook, you want to take a cup of raisins and two options. You can either soak them in Irish whiskey or warm water. I've had them soaking for about half an hour, so I'm going to drain those off. And you can, if you use the Irish whiskey, you can reserve that and make an Irish whiskey butter. Or you can use the hot water, and if you've used the hot water, you'll just toss that when you're done with it. So we want to have the soaked raisins, and then we'll have a nice big mixing bowl with just a couple of basic ingredients here. All-purpose flour. I'm going to take 1 cup, and then we'll take 1 cup of whole wheat flour. If you want yours a little more traditional, use 2 cups of whole wheat flour. Omit the all-purpose. Just add that right on top of the other flour. And then we're going to take 3 tablespoons of sugar. And I've pre-measured 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And then we'll take 1 teaspoon of baking soda. You want to either whisk this together or stir it together. Get those flours nice and incorporated, and then we'll cut our butter in. At this point, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 375. So I have a stick of butter. You're going to use 4 tablespoons, so this is going to get cut right in half. And you can keep that other half for the Irish whiskey butter if you choose to make that, or pop that right back in the fridge. So we're going to cut this up into chunks, and then we'll work it into the flour by hand. I find this easiest to do if you cut it real fine, and then it's a little less work with the hand mixing. So pop that right in the bowl, and then just taking the flour and smushing the butter down, mixing it all together until it resembles wet sand. There can be small, about pea-sized chunks of butter, that's okay. So this just takes a couple of minutes. It's a little meditative to mix that butter into the flour. And the next ingredient that I did not get out yet is buttermilk. So I don't typically buy buttermilk because I use it for one recipe and then I have a whole container left. So I use milk with a dash of vinegar added, which is a great substitute. You can also, if you don't have vinegar or you don't like the taste of vinegar, if you're worried it's going to be too strong, you can use lemon juice. So I've mixed together my butter and flours, and I went ahead and poured my buttermilk, and you just pour it right into the bowl. Give it a stir around until everything is moistened. You don't have to mix it until everything is perfectly combined, because we're gonna roll it out onto a floured surface. So I went ahead and floured my my cutting board. And then we'll take this out. Reading my recipe here, making sure that I'm doing it right. I need to add my raisins. See? So then you add them right to the bowl and mix that together. You can, by hand, knead this together so the raisins are fully incorporated. Out onto your floured surface, nice and floured, and maybe have a little extra flour on hand. And you're just gonna gently mix this together. And the way that the recipe calls for it to be baked is you form it into a round loaf. But it's up to you as the cook. You can use a loaf pan if you prefer. You can make smaller portions. You could cut this in 4 and have 4 portions of the Irish soda bread. So this is all set, and I'm going to grab my cookie sheet, and I'll take this and pop it right in the center. So another thing that this recipe calls for is for you to score the bread with a razor, which I never have a razor, so I use a sharp knife, and make a cross on the top. Also, an option is to do an egg wash on the top, which is simply a beaten egg brushed on the top. So that's it for this Irish soda bread. I will bake it and show you what mine looks like after. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you enjoy this recipe and your family has a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Thanks.